Zoe Kinsley was 10 years old and loved puzzles. She believed that every family had a secret, and she was determined to find it. Her favorite relative was her older cousin, Amara Kinsley. Amara was kind and artistic, and she was married to the calmest, neatest man in the world, Daniel Kinsley. Daniel was a financial consultant whose job made him travel to amazing places, especially a glittering hot city called Dubai. To Zoe, Daniel was like a walking rulebook. Everything had its place. "Order, Zoe," Daniel would always say. "Order is the key to success." Zoe was staying with Amara while her parents were away. One sunny afternoon, 2 weeks before Daniel was due to leave for a month-long trip, the phone rang. It wasn't a call. It was a message sent to Amara's old phone number, which they kept for spam. Zoe picked it up and read it aloud, thinking it was a fun code. "Daddy, are you coming home tonight?" Amara looked confused, then worried. Who would send that to my old number? Daniel, who had just walked in, laughed smoothly. "Scam, Amara. The scammers are getting creative. Delete it." But Zoe didn't delete it. The number was foreign, and the word daddy felt loud and strange. "It's a clue, Amara," Zoe announced, tapping the screen. "Look at the timestamp. 3 a.m. our time. That's late." Daniel knelt down, his eyes too bright, his smile too wide. "Zoe, my little detective, it's just junk. Don't worry your head about grown-up spam. Go play outside." Zoe ran outside, but she didn't play. She wrote down the foreign phone number in her notebook. She knew Daniel was lying. Something about that message and Daniel's overly calm reaction didn't fit his orderly world. She didn't know yet, but Daniel wasn't a financial consultant. He was a secret collector, working to steal the most important artifact in the Kinsley family history, the marble compass. The marble compass wasn't a real compass. It was a small, ancient stone tablet that had been in Amara's family for hundreds of years. It was carved with strange symbols and believed to hold the coded map to a hidden family treasure. Not gold, but a collection of rare, lost musical instruments. Amara always kept it locked in a safe deposit box. 2 weeks later, Daniel announced his urgent business trip. "It's going to be 4 weeks this time," he said, packing his neat, expensive suit. Amara looked at him, her eyes searching. The message and Daniel's strange distance had chipped away at her trust. "I'm coming with you," Amara said, her voice firm. Daniel hesitated, just for a breath. It was enough for Zoe to see. "Amara, darling, you know it's all meetings and stress." "It's too hot," Daniel argued, forcing a laugh. "I don't mind the heat," Amara replied. "I need a holiday, and I want to see where you work." Daniel finally agreed, but his face was set in a tight, worried mask. "I'll come too," Zoe exclaimed. "I can help with the clues." "Absolutely not," Daniel snapped, his calm finally breaking. "This is a serious business trip, Zoe. You stay here." The next morning, Amara and Daniel left for Dubai. Zoe felt sick with worry. She knew Amara was stepping into a trap. Zoe went to her parents. "I have to go to Dubai," she insisted, showing them the message and the phone number. "Daniel is lying to Amara. I think he's trying to steal the marble compass." Zoe's parents were initially doubtful, but they trusted Zoe's sharp instincts. They decided that a family emergency required them to fly to Dubai to surprise Amara with a visit. 24 hours later, Zoe was soaring over the ocean, the foreign phone number and the marble compass at the forefront of her mind. Dubai welcomed them with blazing heat and skyscrapers that touched the clouds. It was a city of amazing luxury and dazzling secrets. Amara and Daniel were staying in a tall, glittering 5-star hotel. Zoe and her parents checked into a smaller hotel across the city. Zoe immediately began her detective work. She used a borrowed tablet and a reverse phone search app she found online, with her dad's permission, of course, to look up the mysterious foreign phone number. The number belonged to a phone registered in the name of Layla Rahman. The address linked to the name was not a business office, but a residential building called the Oasis Towers. Layla Rahman, Zoe whispered, writing the name in her notebook. The mystery daddy is Layla's husband. That evening, Zoe insisted on taking a walk near Amara's hotel with her dad. Zoe, hiding behind a giant exotic planter, spotted Daniel sneaking out of the hotel lobby. He was dressed in a dark jacket, looking furtive. "Follow him, Dad, but stay back," Zoe instructed. Zoe and her dad followed Daniel through the busy streets, staying hidden among the crowds of tourists. Daniel finally stopped at the Oasis Towers. Amara's husband entered with a quiet, confident key turn. "He lived here." "He has a whole second life, Zoe," her dad whispered, horrified. They waited 30 tense minutes. Then, the apartment door opened. A woman stepped out. She was beautiful, calm, and had the same disciplined look as Daniel. Then, two children, a boy and a girl, about 7 and 5, ran out after her. "Daddy!" the little boy shouted, running into Daniel's arms. Daniel scooped them up, laughing a genuine, warm laugh. Zoe's dad quickly took a discreet photo on his phone. Zoe felt Amara's heartbreak, even from miles away. Daniel wasn't just a thief, he was a giant, elaborate lie. "We have to go back," Zoe's dad whispered, pulling her arm. "We have to show this to Amara before she walks into their trap." Amara was alone, in the quiet, lavish hotel room, when Zoe and her dad arrived. Zoe's dad, unable to speak, simply handed Amara the phone, with the photograph. Amara looked at the photo of Daniel holding the two children and the woman. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. The sorrow on her face was quiet and terrifying, like a crack spreading through marble. Zoe sat next to her, holding her hand. "I saw them," Amara finally said, her voice hollow. Daniel returned an hour later, whistling softly. He stopped dead when he saw Zoe's family and the phone in Amara's hand. The truth spilled out, not about a second family, but about his true identity. "This is Layla, my secret sister," Daniel confessed, his calm demeanor finally cracking. "And those are her children. We are a team of collectors. My real name isn't Daniel Kinsley, it's Marcus Tenebra." "And the marble compass?" Amara whispered. "It's the key to the Tenebra family legacy," Marcus, Daniel sneered, dropping the polite act. "It's a coded map to a hidden collection of artifacts worth millions. I spent 5 years earning your family's trust to get access to that safe deposit box." He looked at Amara with cold amusement. "Your devotion was merely a tool." Amara stood up, her eyes blazing. "You never existed." "Only the perfect version of me existed for you," Marcus corrected. "Now, where is the marble compass? My team, Layla and the children, need it to finish the heist." Amara smiled, a cold, final smile. "I moved it weeks ago, Marcus. I didn't trust you." She looked at Zoe, a silent signal passing between them. Marcus raged, overturning a bedside table. "You lied! Where is it?" "I'm not telling you," Amara said, standing strong. "But I'm going to meet your team. I want to see Layla Rahman, the one who sent the daddy message, and tell her what a complete lie you are." The next day, Amara, Zoe, and Zoe's father went to the Oasis Towers. Layla Rahman, Marcus's real sister and accomplice, opened the door. She looked confused to see Amara. "Who are you? The American woman?" Marcus said you were the former wife, Layla said, looking surprised. I'm his devoted wife of 5 years, Amara said calmly, and I know your children call him Daddy. We're both victims, Layla. He's been lying to us both, using us to get the marble compass. Layla's cold composure fractured. She looked at the children, playing quietly in the corner, then back at Amara. He told me you were divorced, that you were complicated, and that he only kept in touch with you for business reasons, Layla whispered, realization sinking in. He used my children to make his lie look real. Zoe sat down next to the children, pulling out her notebook. Layla's children, a girl named Mina and a boy named Samir, were kind and immediately interested in Zoe's detective notebook. What is the marble compass? Layla finally asked Amara. It's a valuable, coded map that belongs to my family, Amara explained. Marcus needs it because he's a collector for a large, shadowy organization called the Syndicate. Layla looked horrified. The Syndicate? He told me we were just working for a rich private client. He told me this was a clean job. Layla's loyalty to her brother was fading fast. She had been used, just like Amara. Her love for her children was stronger than her loyalty to her criminal brother. I don't care about the marble compass, Layla whispered, but I care about my children. Marcus promised me a new, safe life. I won't let him use them for the Syndicate. He's coming back here tonight, Amara said. He wants the compass. If we work together, we can stop him before he disappears forever. Layla looked at her children, then at Amara, and finally at Zoe, the small detective. What is the plan? Layla asked, her voice calm and determined. The plan was simple, calculated, and deadly, not with a knife, but to Marcus's freedom. The goal: trap Marcus, recover the marble compass, and expose him to the authorities. The team: Amara, the bait; Layla, the inside operator; Zoe, the detective. Lookout. Phase 1: the invitation. Layla would call Marcus, pretending to be angry about the betrayal, but agreeing to give him the compass if he came to the apartment for a final private discussion. Phase 2: the setup. Layla would arrange the apartment to look like a desperate, emotional fight had just happened. She would hide all the regular apartment keys, leaving only the security fob hidden. Phase 3: the clue, Zoe's role. Marcus wouldn't believe Amara moved the compass. Zoe had discovered the true location of the compass was the Kinsley family crypt back home. But the key was hidden here in Dubai. Zoe would secretly plant a clue, a single, white marble fragment, near a specific location in the apartment. Phase 4: the trap. When Marcus arrives, Amara will confront him. Layla will use a hidden door lock, a secret button to lock the security door from the inside, and the missing apartment keys to trap him inside the apartment complex, delaying his escape. Phase 5: the evidence. Amara will use the commotion to reveal the single, damning piece of evidence that will get him arrested in Dubai. A fake passport Marcus used to register a secret safety deposit box, which Layla had found. Zoe and Amara's dad hurried back to their hotel to retrieve the most important piece of evidence Zoe had found in her investigation: the fake passport. Back at the Oasis Towers apartment, Layla was making the apartment look chaotic. She overturned a small table, scattered papers, and made sure all the window curtains were drawn. Zoe pulled out the single, small white marble fragment she had brought from Amara's house. It was a tiny piece chipped off the marble compass centuries ago. The key to the marble compass is here, Layla, Zoe whispered, pointing to the cold, white marble floor of the apartment. But Marcus thinks the compass itself is here. We have to make him think this floor is the key. Zoe pointed to a large, intricate white star pattern in the center of the marble floor. He will remember the star is the first symbol on the compass map. We need to hide the real key there. Layla nodded. The real key is hidden in the children's puzzle box, the one Marcus uses to distract them. I moved it to the center of the star carpet. Zoe placed the marble fragment carefully right on the edge of the star pattern, making it look like it had chipped off the floor itself during a struggle. When Marcus sees the marble fragment, he will look at the star pattern, and then he will look for the real compass, Zoe explained, but we will only give him the fake one. Suddenly, Layla's phone chimed. It was a message from Marcus. "I'm coming. Don't try anything stupid." "He's coming," Layla whispered, her face pale. "Get ready, Zoe. You have to hide." Zoe dove behind the large, heavy curtains, clutching the fake passport in her hand. A few minutes later, Marcus walked in, his key fob granting him access. He looked wary, but arrogant. "Where is it, Amara?" he demanded, looking at the mess. "You staged this." Amara stood tall, facing him. "You stole 5 years of my life. You don't deserve the compass." Marcus laughed, a cold, sharp sound. 5 years was worth millions, Amara. Now, the compass. "It's here," Amara said, pointing to the star pattern on the marble floor. Marcus's eyes immediately spotted the small, white marble fragment Zoe had planted. He bent down, recognizing the stone instantly. "The compass stone," he gasped. He looked closely at the star pattern. "This is the first code. It's hidden in the floor." He dropped his bag and started frantically pulling at the edges of the marble star. Layla stood by, her arms crossed, watching her brother destroy her apartment. "It's no use, Marcus," Layla said, her voice heavy with sadness. "The compass isn't here." Marcus stopped, turning to face them, his face furious. "Then where is it? Tell me, or I swear." Just then, Zoe's father, who had been waiting outside the door with a security guard, knocked loudly. "Knock, knock, knock!" Marcus froze. "Who is that?" "Neighbors," Amara lied calmly. "They heard the noise." Marcus, panicked, rushed to the door to check the peephole. Layla seized the moment. She slammed her hand down on a hidden button beneath the sofa cushion, the security lock. The outer security door of the apartment complex slid shut with a heavy clunk. "The door is locked, Marcus," Layla said. "You're trapped here." Marcus roared in frustration. He realized he had been played. "You turned on me, Layla! You traitor!" he screamed. He rushed toward his sister, but Amara stepped forward, blocking him. "She chose the truth, Marcus," Amara said. "You chose the lie." Marcus shoved Amara aside. He knew he had minutes before the real police arrived. Zoe's father was alerting them. "The key! The compass key!" Marcus demanded. He remembered Layla saying she moved it. He looked around the room frantically. His eyes landed on the children's colorful puzzle box on the rug, right in the center of the marble star pattern. The puzzle box, Marcus realized. She hid the key in the children's toy. He lunged for the box. Zoe, still hiding behind the curtains, knew she couldn't let him get the key. That key would unlock the real marble compass back in America. As Marcus reached the puzzle box, Zoe threw the fake passport across the floor. It landed right next to Marcus's hand. Marcus, momentarily distracted, picked up the passport. He saw his own face, but with a different name. "My escape route," he gasped. "How did you get this?" "It's going to the police, Marcus," Amara said firmly. "You're a syndicate thief." Layla rushed forward and grabbed the puzzle box before Marcus could react. Marcus was now cornered and defeated. He had lost the key and the escape route. his mask of order finally shattered. Marcus was a whirlwind of panic. He ran toward the kitchen, hoping to find another escape route. "The balcony!" he yelled, running toward the sliding glass door. But Layla stood in his way, holding the puzzle box. "You don't hurt my children, Marcus. You don't use them." Marcus tried to push past Layla. Amara grabbed his arm, and a struggle ensued. They crashed into a rack of cleaning supplies near the kitchen. A large bottle of bright red liquid marker, used for children's projects, fell to the floor, the cap popping off. As Marcus tried to twist free, Layla pushed him hard against the white kitchen marble. The red marker liquid exploded over Marcus, soaking his neat white shirt, dripping down the wall, and pooling on the white marble floor like a grotesque version of blood. Marcus was frozen, covered in the bright red stain, staring at the children, who were now crying, terrified by the struggle. Zoe watched from the curtains, holding her breath. The blood wasn't real, but the consequence was, the moment Layla had intended arrived, a stain on the marble that would not wash out, marking Marcus as a criminal. The police arrived minutes later, guided by Zoe's father and the security guard. Marcus Tenebra, the impeccably neat financial consultant, was arrested, stained bright red, and defeated by the truth. As the officers led him away, Marcus looked at Layla, Amara, and finally at Zoe. He saw the cold, final victory in their eyes. Layla rushed to her children, hugging them tight. Amara looked at the red stain on the white marble. It was messy, ugly, and true. 2 days later, the chaos was over. Marcus Tenebra was in custody, charged with organized theft and fraud. Layla, having cooperated fully and exposed the syndicate's operation, was granted immunity. Amara looked exhausted but peaceful. She was safe, and the real Daniel Kinsley she loved hadn't existed. But the real Amara, strong, smart, and brave, had finally emerged. Amara and Layla sat together in the clean, bright apartment, looking at the children's puzzle box. "He was going to use my children's toys to steal your family's history," Layla said, opening the box. Tucked into the bottom of the box was the brass key. It was the real key to the safe deposit box holding the marble compass. Amara looked at the key, then handed it to Zoe. "You found the clues, Zoe," Amara said. "You should do the honors." Zoe took the key and opened her detective notebook. She now had a new mission: figure out the marble compass code. The star pattern on the floor was the first clue, Zoe mused. But what is the next? Layla looked at the marble compass's brass key, which was carved with a single, small symbol: a fish with wings. "Wait," Layla said, pointing to a small framed photo on the wall. "That symbol, my grandfather used to draw it. He said it meant the sky fish, and it represented the highest point of water." Amara looked at the photo, which showed a beautiful fountain back in her hometown. "That's the fountain in the Kinsley Town Square," Amara exclaimed, "the one with the famous sky fish statue on top. The second code is in my hometown." Marcus might have thought he had the compass locked up, Zoe smiled. "But the real chase is just beginning. We have to decode the marble compass before the syndicate realizes Marcus failed." Amara, Layla, and Zoe flew back to Amara's hometown. Zoe's father, incredibly proud, organized the trip. They went straight to the bank and retrieved the marble compass. It was heavier than Zoe expected, a dark stone tablet covered in symbols that looked like stars, waves, and strange animals. The only symbol Zoe knew was the star. Now they focused on the sky fish fountain. The syndicate wouldn't know the code, but Marcus might have left a backup clue for Layla, just in case. Zoe ran her hands over the skyfish statue at the top of the fountain. It was smooth bronze. "The highest point of water," Zoe whispered, recalling Layla's clue. She looked at the top of the fish statue. There was a tiny, almost invisible metal clasp built into the fin. Zoe used a small hairpin to pry the clasp open. Inside the fin was a tiny, rolled-up, waterproof paper. It was not a map, it was a note, written in Marcus's neat handwriting. "The next key isn't in the stones, it is in the song, the one she hums when she's happy." "The song," Amara gasped. "I always hum a specific nursery rhyme when I'm happy. It was my mother's favorite." "The syndicate needs the code to unlock the marble compass's secrets," Layla said, pointing to the carvings on the stone. "The marble compass has a hidden mechanism. It needs a musical sequence to open the coded map inside." "So, the song is the key," Zoe exclaimed. "The symbols on the compass must represent the notes of the song." The three women, the betrayed wife, the reformed spy sister, and the sharp-eyed detective, looked at the marble compass. They were now a new, stronger team, ready to face the syndicate and protect the Kinsley legacy. Back at Amara's house, Zoe carefully studied the symbols on the marble compass. There were 13 symbols in a sequence, looking like tiny musical notes. A star, a wave, a circle, a fish, etc. Amara hummed the old nursery rhyme her mother used to sing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." Zoe noticed the pattern. The first symbol was a star. "The song is the sequence," Zoe realized. The symbols match the lines of the nursery rhyme. Star, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Wave, how I wonder what you are. Circle, up above the world so high. Fish, like a diamond in the sky. The symbols were a visual code for the musical notes of the rhyme. Zoe and Amara carefully pressed the symbols in the exact order of the nursery rhyme. Star, wave, circle, fish, star, wave, circle, fish, and so on. As Zoe pressed the last symbol, the 13th symbol, the heavy stone tablet gave a quiet click whir. The center of the marble compass slid open, revealing a hidden compartment inside. It wasn't a map inside, it was a tiny, ancient wooden flute. "The legacy isn't gold," Amara whispered, tears in her eyes. "It's the lost musical instruments. This flute is the first one." Suddenly, the front door burst open. Two men in dark suits, members of the syndicate, rushed in. They had followed the trail from Dubai and Layla's escape. "The compass! Give us the compass!" the lead syndicate man yelled. Amara quickly threw the wooden flute to Layla, who caught it instantly. Amara then grabbed the heavy stone marble compass and hurled it into the middle of the room. The syndicate men lunged for the stone, thinking the treasure was inside. Layla, holding the flute, whistled a loud, shrill note, the first note of Amara's nursery rhyme. "Hoo!" The sound was so loud and unexpected that the two syndicate men froze, momentarily stunned. Zoe seized the opportunity. She activated a loud, hidden police alarm her father had installed moments before. The house was instantly filled with deafening, flashing police sirens. The syndicate men, knowing they were trapped, dropped the stone and tried to flee. They were arrested within minutes. The syndicate was defeated. Layla, now a free woman, decided to stay in Amara's town and start a new, honest life with her children. Amara looked at Zoe, the true hero. "You are more than a detective, Zoe," Amara said, hugging her tightly. "You are the greatest guardian our family has ever had." Zoe smiled, looking at the marble compass and the wooden flute. She learned that the most important thing a person can possess is not an artifact, but honesty. Marcus Tenebra thought he had a perfect life built on lies. But a simple nursery rhyme and a courageous 10-year-old detective were enough to bring his world of deception crashing down. Secrets don't stay hidden when courage starts singing.